if I move or have any sort of big thing in my life where I need to get rid of a lot of plants, this one is at the top of the dang list. Hi plant friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca if we have never met before, and this is my channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. Today I'm here to offer you a little bit of comedic relief, or at least some relief from the guilt that comes when you fall out of love with a plant. I have talked to my channel a lot about all of the plants that I love so much, all of the things that they do for me and all the love that they bring me, but there are plants out there that have just rocked my world in a not good way, in a negative way. So I'm going to tell you today all of the plants that I regret buying, and this goes for the plants that I still currently have. There have been a lot of plants that I've regretted buying who have died and passed on, and they are somewhere else now. They're in a better place, you know? At least that's what I'm telling myself. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first plant that I regret buying is this Ficus altissima. I have had a very complicated relationship with this plant. It is one of those plants that I have had to really learn how to take care of it. I think ficus in general are just really difficult for me. It's probably the one genus out of all of the plants that I have that I struggle with the most and I have experienced the most growing pains with. Now this one is particularly troubling because, well, you can see she's had a bit of a hard life. For a lot of the time that I've had this plant, I had no idea what it wanted, and I have resorted to putting it out on the patio before to just let it fend for itself, and somehow it came back alive and it put out these four beautiful leaves at the top here, and that is pretty much the best growth that I have ever gotten from it. Inside, it did do some winter growing the first year I got it. What's going on here? And it put out this leaf here, which is wrinkly, this leaf here, which is tiny, and this leaf here, which, you know, it showed a little bit of altissima, but it was still wrinkly. So the three up here have been like the most promising of leaves that it has ever put out. But in any case, I'm still just so irritated by the plant, and I never know what it wants. So in the summertime, this plant lives outside, and I just kind of let it go. You know, I just let it do its thing, and it does grow, but only when it's outside in the summer. So this summer, the one that we're about to have, will be the second summer that it will be outside. So I'm going to see what I can do to help it out. I will continue to try, but let's just say if I move or have any sort of big thing in my life where I need to get rid of a lot of plants, this one is at the top of the dang list. I did not do my research about it before I bought it. I just saw a pretty plant and I got it. Though I've learned a lot from it, it has been a huge pain the whole time I've had it. So the next plant in this video is this Philodendron Florida, which might come as a surprise because I don't necessarily want to get rid of it. I just regret that I had to buy this plant instead of another one. I bought it on a Plant Purge Facebook page, and I saw a Philodendron Florida, and I said, yes, I want it. So I said sold, and I didn't really think about it prior to pressing sold. I just wanted to get the plant. I wanted to feel the rush. This was actually my first ever Plant Purge purchase. Let me scoot over. There we go. And when I got it, I thought that it was a Philodendron Florida ghost, and it is not. And so I actually said it was a Florida ghost on a video. Oh my God, it has spider mites. No! Oh, really bad spider mites. Oh no. Okay, well I guess I'm doing some treatment after this video. Right, so let me continue. If I can come back from that. I said in a video that it was a Philodendron Florida ghost because I really thought it was. I thought it was just like a juvenile form, and like as it grew older, it would do the Florida ghost thing. But this is actually a Philodendron Florida. So the reason that I ended up with this plant was because I didn't do the proper research to learn about it and figure out what exactly it was. And of course, with a situation like a purge page, how could I have been able to have time to do that? Which is a reason that a purge page might not always be the best idea. So with all that being said, I don't necessarily regret that I have it now. I just regret that I thought it was something else, and now I have this plant, which is cool, but it's definitely not a favorite plant in my collection, and it gets neglected a lot, especially now that I'm seeing that there's a lot of spider mites on it. I would have never noticed that if I didn't take it down and inspect. But I guess in light of everything that's happening right now in the world, I do have a little bit more time to inspect my plants, as I talked about in my previous video. So if you've got some extra time, utilize it to check your plants for pests. And I'm going to be treating this one right after this video. I'm so sorry that happened to you, sir. I will be taking care of it right away. The next plant up in this Plants I Regret Buying video is this Singhania Model. which I just watered it, so fear not, it is going to be okay. But this is a plant that I purchased thinking that it would be much more grand, much more exciting. And I opened it and I realized that it's not very mottled. It's a Singhania mottled and it's not mottled. It's reverted basically, which is extremely disappointing because it just looks like a regular old green Singhonium to me, which honestly is not that exciting. If you have seen my Singhonium army, that is a plant that I thought this was going to be, so I was very excited. And you know, a lot of the time websites, like plant buying websites, can't take a photo of every single plant in their stock, and I'm just gonna say the stock photo for this plant did not look like this. So I was expecting something entirely different, and this is what I've got. You can see here it's lost a lot of leaves. It definitely is still growing new leaves, but it did come down with spider mites, and I'm not seeing any on here, so it's okay. But it's just not, I don't know what it's doing, you know? It's one of those plants that when I move, I will either try to get rid of it or give it away to someone for free. And if no one wants it, it's going in the trash. So yeah, just a little bit of regret with this one. And the reason that I regret it is not necessarily something that I could have controlled anyway, but still, I mean, I regret having to had figured that out after I paid for the plant and got it and opened it. And now I've had it for a while and it's not living up to my standards. And the last plant I'm going to be showing you in this video is this Calathea mosaica. This was another plant auction / purge page purchase, but I did have time to really think about it, and the reason that I bought a big one was so that I could split it in two and send half of it to a friend. But after seeing it in person, I am kind of just underwhelmed. I mean, I know it's a beautiful plant, but I just don't really need it, you know? I think that a lot of the times when we order plants online, it's our first time ever seeing the plant when we open up that box. So there have been a few times in my plant journey where I have unboxed a plant and I just was like, kind of like the Singhonium that I talked about in this video. So this is definitely one of those situations, and the good news is I did buy it with the intent to send it to a friend, so I will be sending it to her. It is a little bit bigger than expected, but it is beautiful. It's just that I don't need it. I am in no way a mosaica hater. If you've never seen a Calathea mosaica, look at how gorgeous that is. Like on a one leaf basis, it's very, very beautiful. But when you take the entire plant, I just don't think that it's very great. Just a personal opinion. I think that falling out of love with plants is extremely normal, and making informed decisions when we buy our plants is a really great way to combat falling out of love with plants, and I think that it happens a lot more often when we do online shop. There's just something about walking into a nursery and seeing all of the plants and touching all of them and picking one out and just deciding that that's going to be your plant. You know what I mean? So there's so much more effort and love that goes into that than ordering online, but I do realize that, especially with myself, a lot of the plants that I want are not available in stores. So I have resorted to online shopping a lot more, but nothing really beats the feeling of walking into a nursery and seeing a plant that you really want. I guess with all of this, I just want to sort of continue to normalize falling out of love with plants. And when you do fall out of love with a plant, I think it's really important to give it to a new home, to someone who will love it, even if that means maybe sending it to somebody. I've been noticing a lot of people posting their wish lists online, and maybe I have a wish list plant of someone else's that I'm just kind of about. So maybe I could pass it forward and, make someone's day by sending them a plant that they really want, especially if it's a plant that I have and I'm just not super jazzed about. I think that is just one way that we can spread the planty kindness, especially right now with everything happening in the world. Things feel very uncertain, and I think that plants are a really, really great way to keep us grounded. All right, you guys, so that is all I have to say about the subject of plants I regret buying and what to do with your plants when you are sick of them. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're doing all right in quarantine, staying healthy and staying safe and staying home. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!